Hi, everyone. So, yes, guys, they're building up Ron Killings fences Aleister Black on this show, and they're building up Wyatt Six fences the Street Profits, which we'll talk about that more later in this video, guys. Yes, that's what WWE's building up to, guys. Let's talk about WWE Friday Night SmackDown, which I thought was a decent show, guys. We opened with Solo Sikoa rolling up with the arena and carrying the United States Championship and flugged by Jeff Cobb, and Solo Sikoa was already in celebration mode, but Jacob Fatu stuck, and Jacob Fatu yanked Jeff Cobb out of the car and tossed him into the door, and chaos broke loose from there with security grappling to catch him, and SmackDown GM Nick Aldis himself showing up to play the part of the responsible with the part of the responsible adult in the room. I'll say it again, guys. Nick Aldis himself showing up to play the part of the responsible adult in the room. Then we had Cody Rhodes come out, the King of the Ring 2025, Cody Rhodes. He makes his way to the ring to a huge ovation from Pittsburgh. And Joe and Wade Barrett are on commentary running down Cody's big win over Randy Orton on Night of Champions to capture the crown. And Cody got the crowd on one hand and a mic in the other. And you guessed it, he kicks things off with his sinister line, the whole thing, the sinister line of saying, the whole thing he says, guys, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about? But before diving in, Cody takes a moment to give a heartfelt shout out to a young fan named Cam sitting in Club 66 who currently battling leukemia, the same thing that Roman Reigns went through, and total class move. Back to business. Cody says the crown presents not just where we have, but where we're headed. I'll say it again, where we're headed. And he name drops legends like Bret Hart, Booker T, and Stone Cold Steve Austin as past King of the Ring, and then sets the stage for what's next, the main event of SummerSlam, of the WrestleMania rematch between Cena and Cody. And I really hope Cody gets the belt back. I really do. I am so telling you guys, I love John Cena, this whole heel run, but this will save the fans, in my opinion, with Cody winning it back. But I love Cena's heel run. But at the same time, for the fans' sakes, and they want a champion that's there, defending it more weeks in and weeks out, and this is the last time to see John Cena, this is the last time you see John Cena in WWE. He got about, I believe, I don't know, you guys can comment. I think it's like 20 days, 25 more dates on his schedule. He only got about 6 more months left. So it's counting down to the wire, So he got about 5 or 6 more months left, and then he's gone. He's gone. He's the last champ. He calls himself the last champ, So yes, guys. And then, but before Cody can say more, the voices hit, and here comes RKO Randy Orton. And Randy Orton steps into the ring and reminds Cody that for weeks he warned him, and he said he wouldn't is set, and yet at Night of Champions, he had Cody dead to right, ready for the punt, but he paused, and Cody didn't, and he pulled the trigger, and Orton says he respects that, and he told Cody not to waste this shot and go to SummerSlam and kick Cena's butt. And then out of nowhere, Drew McIntyre comes to a shocking return. Yes, guys, Drew McIntyre is back. Drew McIntyre, if y'all love him. I like Drew McIntyre, but his huge run was during that time when the virus was a thing, when the virus, when everybody was, the whole thing that was going on in the world, and all of that, So and then his first experience since Saturday Night Main Event a couple months ago. And the mics in hand, Drew assistly goes on the attack and mocking Orton and Cody for what he's called beta male energy. And according to Drew, the alpha is back, which we have the alpha in AEW too, which is Tutesta that's facing Bandito, which I'll be talking about that as well. He's an alpha too. So yes, guys. Then it's him. I'll say it again, and then it's him, and he excused Cody of man paneling Randy Orton and buttering him up to just stab him in the back, and he doesn't stop there. And Drew calls out Randy Orton's surgency repair back and points out how Cody went after it during their match, and Drew then turns his attention to Cody, saying he wants him to beat Cena at SummerSlam because when it's all said and done, he's the one who's going to take that title from Cody. And Randy Orton drops Drew McIntyre with an RKO out of nowhere, which was great, guys. Great. Freaking great, man. And the statement ends with Cody and Randy locking in a sinister, neither one blinking. Man, I'm telling you, man. And then we get some backstage footage of Charlotte Flair chatting with the SmackDown GM Nick Aldis, and he lets her know she's been sliding into a women's tag team title qualifying match, which Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss are a team, and they'll be at Evolution, which we'll talk about that here in a bit. So yes, guys, she'll be facing the Secret Service and the team of Mia Yim and B-Fab with a spot at Evolution on the line. Before Charlotte Flair can react too much, Alexa Bliss shows up and drops the surprise, and she's going to be Charlotte's tag partner for the match. Backstage, Drew McIntyre storms in and demands a match with Randy Orton, and Nick Aldis lets him know Randy Orton's already left the building, but no worries, Drew's getting his shot on Saturday Night Main Event fences Randy Orton, guys. Yes, we got Randy Orton fences Drew McIntyre added as well, with the Goldberg fences Gunther and the LA Knight fences Seth Rollins, guys. And that works just fine for Drew McIntyre. As Drew McIntyre turns to leave, he comes face to face with Jacob Fatu, and no words, just since Tinson, and Drew walks off, and Nick Aldis then tells Jacob Fatu that if he wants a piece of Solo Sikoa's bloodline, he'll need to find a partner for a tag match right on suit. And Jimmy Uso steps up and tells Jacob Fatu he's in. Then we had Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair fences Secret Service, Eberfire and Pepper Neville fences Mia Yim and B-Fab. The match kicks off with Alexa Bliss and Mia Yim and Pepper Neville starting things off for their team before Alexa Bliss can get going, Charlotte Flair blind tags herself in and immediately boots B-Fab off the apron, and Charlotte lights up Pepper Neville with some sinister chops, but Mia Yim fires back with a few of her own and follows up with a fury of kicks, and it turns into a bit of a strike fest. To Mia Yim takes things into the outside and levels Charlotte Flair. Then Pepper Neville decides it's her turn to fly and slinching herself out of the ring to take down Mia Yim and B-Fab into one big splash. And right after that, Eberfire climbs to the top and hits a diving crossbody into Charlotte Flair and B-Fab at ringside, and a huge dive that sends us to the break. And then return from the break with Pepper Neville landing on Charlotte Flair with a suicide, but only gets a 2 count, and a missing suicide on Mia Yim, allowing B-Fab to enter the ring with a tag, and B-Fab takes down Charlotte Flair and Pepper Neville with kicks and girdling on both, and Charlotte Flair counters a neckbreaker ascents and tries for a figure 8, and B-Fab shoves Charlotte Flair into the corner, which allows Alexa Bliss to get the hot tag, and Alexa Bliss was on fire and almost had B-Fab set up for the sister Abigail, but Mia Yim makes the save with a kick, and Everfire caught B-Fab off guard with a Canadian Destroyer as Pepper Neverland then connects with the Black Hole Slam, and the Secret Service has since double team with interrupted by Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, and Charlotte Flair consistently taps Alexa Bliss on the head, which was count as a tag by the ref, and this allows Alexa Bliss to enter as the legal woman and hits the Twisted Bliss on Everfire to win the match, and that's how they won the match, and that's how Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair got added to Evolution, guys. Oh, man, I'm telling you, I am so happy that Alexa Bliss has been back, man. She was gone for a long time. I know, guys, I haven't done doing these weekly things like was doing, but I'm back to try coming back. Welcome me back, guys. Appreciate you all and stuff. But yeah, the last time that I used to do videos like this was back probably in January or December. I think it was back December or January. Long time, you guys. So I'm trying to come back from recovery on here and tell you guys my thoughts about, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Impact, TNA's Impact, which I call it TNA Wrestling. And my thumbnails, as always, TNA Wrestling, but you know what I'm saying, TNA Impact, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW Dynamite, Collision, so, and MLW when they do their weekly, once a month show and stuff. So Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss defeated the Secret Service and Mia Yim and B-Fab, like I just said, guys, and that's how they earned their Evolution Tag Team match. And then backstage, Nick Aldis isn't exactly thrilled. He's laid into the SmackDown Tag Division for the chaos they caused during last week's WWE Tag Team title match between the Wyatt Six and the Street Profits to restore some order. And Nick Aldis makes two big announcements where they're getting Andrade ELO, which, Andrade ELO, and Rey Fenix fences Nathan Frazier and Exum, which was a fun match, guys, I'm telling you. And later on, the Wyatt Six will be in action in an 8-man tag, which, we'll talk about that here in a couple seconds, which I thought that 8-man tag was a little fun match. That was a little fun match. Loved it. It was a little fun match. I like when AEW does it too. They're little fun matches, but they're not like clinics, but they're a little fun match. You know what I'm saying, in my opinion. I know a lot of people don't like these 8-man tag, 14-man tags, but they're a little fun, but they're not like, oh, this is amazing, or, this is a clinic, or, a banger. It's none of that. It's just a little fun match, in my opinion. The Wyatt Six, and stuff, they'll be in an 8-man tag against 4 guys from the SmackDown Tag Division, and it was, Johnny Gargano and Berto, and, all of that with Chris Sabin, the Mortar Machine Gun, and, Mansford from the Street Profits. We'll talk about it right here, guys. So the Wyatt Six, Uncle Howdy, and Joe Gacy, and Eric Rowan, and Dexter Lumis faced Alberto, and Johnny Gargano, and Chris Sabin, and Mansford, and Alberto and Joe Gacy get things started, and Gacy comes out swinging Sicily, nailing Alberto with a big corner clothesline, followed by a running suicide, and he's rolling early, but Alberto fires back with a slick springboard elbow that slows the momentum, and Dexter Lumis tags in and starts tossing Alberto and around like a ragdoll. Then it's Johnny Gargano's turn, and Johnny turns to play Peacemaker with Dexter Lumis, but gets clocked for his double and slams hard for a near fall, and things quickly spiritual, and Uncle Howdy steps into the ring, which triggers a full-blown breakdown, and everyone pipes in, and Eric Rowan tries to choke slam both Johnny Gargano and Alberto, but eats a serial super kick from Chris Sabin and Mansford, and the Fets off the SmackDown Tag Division clear Eric Rowan off the ring and look to capitalize, but Eric Rowan recovers and catches forward mid-run and launches him right into a super kick from Dexter Lumis that takes us to the break. And then back from the break, it's the Wyatt Six in full control, working over forward in the corner, and Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy hit their signature powerbomb into the opponent's combo. Also to get the opponent's combo. And Dexter, also again, Dexter follows it up with a submission hold, but Ford managed to fight out of it, and Chris Sabin tags in and assistly lights up the ring with a missile dropkick to Dexter, and he's flying over the place, all over the place, which was good, guys. He's flying all over the place and taking out the Wyatt Six in their corner, then lights up with Gargano for a surprise double kick on Joe Gacy, and that team work doesn't last long enough, and more chaos breaks out, and Ford launches himself from the ring and takes out Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis near the ramp, and Alberto gets ready to fly too, but Uncle Howdy interrupts him and casually tosses him over the top rope like it's nothing, and back inside, Howdy plants Chris Sabin with a nasty entry wrench that sends in Eric Rowan, the big man, and goes on a rampage, but Chris Sabin managed to drop him with a slam just as Chris Sabin crawls towards his corner for a tag, and Johnny Gargano ascends and looks at Eric Rowan, then backs off the apron, leaving Chris Sabin and that's all Rowan needs, and he grabs Sabin and hits the Iron Claw slam and steals the win for the Wyatt Six, and that's how they won with Eric Rowan with the Bear Claw. And that's how the Wyatt Six defeated Alberto and Johnny Gargano and Chris Sabin and Mans Ford. Then Jillia hypes up video of her United States women's title from last week. We're all about to witness her beautiful mandance as champion. I can't wait. I hope she has a better run than Selena Vega had. I really hope she has a better reign than Chelsea Green even had. Because Jillia is great, man. If you see the stuff that she did in Stardom, I'm telling you, great matches. I'm telling you, great matches, man. After match, after match, after match, after banger, after banger, after banger. I'm telling you, that's just my opinion. If you don't like match, then you probably would like her promos more. I'm just saying. But I like match. That's what I like about AEW and other companies and indie companies. They do a lot of matches. They do quick freaking promos, quick freaking video package, and then right to the match. And some people don't like that kind of stuff, and that's their opinion, you know what I'm saying? So whoever likes, WWE style, that's your opinion, but I got tired of that style, man. And I had to get out of that bubble a long time ago, like in 2019, 2020. I had to get out of that bubble. That bubble wasn't good for me, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. It wasn't a good experience for me. That's just my opinion. That's why I experienced more wrestling. So then WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton heads into the ring and ready to make a big call who she's going to defend her title against at Evolution, and she gets on the mic and says ever since she won the title, she had a target on her back, and Nia Jax tries to end her run with a little revenge and mentions, but Tiffany Stratton stands. Also again, Tiffany Stratton still walks out the last woman standing, which we talked about that, guys, on my huge video, and that was a good match, like I said. Then she shoves the focus to Jade Cargill and the women she is facing at SummerSlam, but only after she can handle business at Evolution, and that when Jade's music hits the 2025 King of the Ring, Jade Cargill and all mic and already in hand, and Cargill reminds everyone that she earned that crown by beating Asuka at Night of Champions, guys, at Night of Champions. And she tells Tiffany Stratton she got a big decision to make, and if she makes the wrong one, if she makes the wrong one, she might not even make it to SummerSlam. But really, it doesn't matter to Jade Cargill. Whoever stands across from her in August, she's winning. Man, I'm telling you, I just have that feeling they're going to do that for Jade Cargill because she's a big star for them and stuff. And I'm sorry about my dog in the background, but I love doing this stuff. So, and I'm happy to start doing this stuff again. So then Tiffany Stratton cuts her off, and she I'll say it again. Tiffany Stratton cuts her off and says she got a surprise, and out walks Trish Stratus. Yes, guys, Trish Stratus is facing Tiffany Stratton, guys, and I hope Tiffany defeats Trish. And I have a feeling that they're going to probably have Jade Cargill beat Tiffany Stratton at SummerSlam. I'm just saying. I just have that feeling they're going to have Jade win that title. I just have that feeling in my head, but you never know. But I just have that feeling in my head. But we'll see what happens, though. You never know. And then the crowd pops as Trish hits the ring and Tiffany Stratton lays it out. What would Evolution be without a little Trish faction? Then she drops the bomb where Ben told was coming, and she wants to face Trish for the title at Evolution. And Trish takes the mic and gets real for a minute, and she talks about how far women's wrestling has come from fighting for just one match on a card to now headlining an entire PLE, which this is the second Evolution, guys. The first one was in 2018, if you're wondering. It was 2018. And she thanks Tiffany Stratton for giving her kids the chance to see her back in the ring, but reminds everyone those kids have never seen their mom as champion. And Tiffany Stratton hasn't shooken, and she told Trish this wouldn't be easy. This isn't the Attitude Era anymore. Whether it's Trish Stratus at Evolution or Jade Cargill at SummerSlam, one thing for sure, the WWE still runs on Tiffany's time. I'll say it again, guys. This isn't the Attitude Era anymore. Whether it's Trish Stratus at Evolution or Jade Cargill at SummerSlam, one thing for sure, the WWE still runs on Tiffany's time. And I'm telling you guys, I think Tiffany's time is running out. And I just have that feeling that Jade Cargill is going to win that, man. We'll see what happens, though. We'll see what happens. You never know, like I said again, guys. You never know. Then Solo Sikoa is in his office to announce the newest member of his family, Tangaloa, Haiku Leo, and Solo News Group is stronger than ever and will be nothing. I'll say it again, guys. Solo Sikoa is in his office to announce the newest member of his family, Haiku Leo, and Solo's new group is stronger than ever and will be nothing like the bloodline, and the family is complete, and he and Jeff Cobb will be in the tag action later, and Trish Stratus cross path with Jade Cargill backstage, and the Queen wastes no time delivering a warning. I'm sorry about that, but if you can still hear me, guys, I'm going to try. So Trish Stratus, I'll repeat it again, guys. The family is complete, and he and Jeff Cobb will be in a tag action later, and Trish Stratus I'll say it again. Trish Stratus crosses path with Jade Cargill backstage, and the Queen wastes no time delivering a warning. If Trish beats Tiffany Stratton at Evolution, then she'll be staring across the ring at her coming SummerSlam. And Trish Stratus didn't seem to rattle and walk off, but before Jade can even turn around, Naomi comes out of nowhere and clocks her with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Down goes Jade Cargill, and SmackDown GM Nick Aldis, who basically has been everywhere in the night, rushing in to check on the Queen of the Ring as Naomi makes her exit with a smirk. And that's what happened right there. In my opinion, guys, man, I'm telling you. Oh, I am telling you. Naomi, man, you never know if she can cash it in at SummerSlam, freaking any show. You never know. I can't wait for Bad Blood, man. That's one pay-per-view I can't wait for, man, for WWE. Then we have Nathan Frazier and XM Fences, Andrade and Rey Fenix, which this was a fun tag team match. I'm telling you guys. And SmackDown returns from the break with Nathan Frazier and locking Rey Fenix in a submission, trying to slow things down. And Nathan Frazier and Exum lead into their submission, trying to load down and freaking Nathan Frazier. I said that. Sorry, Nathan Frazier and Exum laid into their Ascent's offense and working together to keep Ray Phoenix grounding, but Ray Phoenix fights out and escapes Exum and grabs and kicks Nathan Frazier off the apron and nails Exum with a flipping DDT to create some much needed space and hot tag to Andrade and comes and fire and taking out both Nathan Frazier and Exum and hits the three amigos suplex. I'm gonna still do this while my dog freaking barks. I don't care. Um, so um, So yeah, he escapes Exum and grabs and kicks Nathan Frazier off the apron and nails Exum with a flipping DDT to create some much needed space and hot tags to Andrade and comes on fire and taking out both Nathan Frazier and Exum and hits the three amigo suplex in tribute to Eddie Guerrero, which was amazing, guys, with the freaking three amigo suplex, guys. I'm telling you. Okay, I'm sorry about that barking, guys, but I'll repeat myself again. So the hot tag to Andrade and comes in on fire and taking out both Nathan Frazier and XM, and he hits the three amigo duplex in tribute to Eddie Guerrero, and Ray Phoenix follows that up with a big frog splash, but it only gets a 2 count. Man, that was a good tribute to Eddie Guerrero. I'm telling you. I'm telling you guys, that was a great tribute, man. I'm telling you, man, that was a great tribute. Um, then Ray Phoenix fires up and yells out "Amigo" and climbs to the top rope, but Nathan Frazier meets him up there, and the two battle it out to Frazier hits a huge superplex, followed by a nasty super kick, and Exum goes for the cover, but Andrade breaks it up by shoving Nathan Frazier right into the pin to stop it, and after another commercial, we are back, and Nathan Frazier goes for the Phoenix Splash, but Ray Phoenix rolls out of the way, and Andrade tags in and catches Nathan Frazier in the corner with a brutal Mentura for a near fall, and he's not done. And Andrade hits the double moonsault and goes for the pin, but Exum breaks it up just in time and knocks Ray Phoenix off the apron for good measure, and Nathan Frazier and Exum then hit a beautiful Spanish fly and Phoenix splash combo on Andrade, and it looks like it might be all over to Ray Phoenix launches himself back in the ring and makes a last second save, and he drops Nathan Frazier, then hits Exum with a cold breaker to shove the momentum, and Ray Phoenix and Andrade take full control from there, and Ray Phoenix splashes Exum with a Amigo kick, and Andrade kicks Nathan Frazier silly with a since spinning back elbow with Exum just outside, and Ray Phoenix leaps over a prone and Nathan Frazier in the ring and takes Exum out at ringside, and that opens the door for Andrade to finish things, and he hits the message. I'll say it again. He hits the message. He hits the message on Nathan Frazier, and that's how Andrade and Ray Phoenix defeated Nathan Frazier and Exum, the Axiom, the Prince Axiom. Man, that was a good match, I'm telling you. And I'll say it again. It opened the door for Andrade to finish things and hits the message for the win, man. Then I have to tell you, the main event. We had the main event with Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso, Vince Solo Sikoa, and Jeff Cobb. I call him Jeff Cobb, not JC Mateo or Potato or whatever you want to call him. And then Damian Priest tries to talk to Aleister Black about Raw killings, and it doesn't go well for them. We're getting Damian Priest fences Aleister Black next Friday, so it works out okay for us, and that will be joined by the Wyatt Six, Joe Gacy, and Dexter Lumis challenging the Street Profits for the World Tag Team titles. So I was right about that, guys. It was going to be Raw Killings fences Aleister Black, but still, man, that's going to be a great match with Priest and Black. I'm telling you, that's going to be a great match. As much as people are going to hate it, Damian and Aleister, they're going to kill it, man. They're going to kill it, man. I thought it was going to be Raw Killings, but that's what they were building up on. That's what they were really building up on. It seemed like for the weeks on SmackDown and stuff that they were going to build up to that, and now we're getting Damian Priest fences Aleister Black. Can't wait, man. And we also got a word that Tiffany Stratton fences Trish Stratus for the belt is official for, Evolution. And Jade Cargill and Mrs. Money in the Bank, Naomi and stuff like that. Then we had the main event. Solo Sikoa and Jeff Cobb fences Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso. Solo doesn't want any part of Jacob to start, so he tags in, and Jeff Cobb to deal with the chaos. Hey, brother, you came on my channel one time. Appreciate you stopping by, but I'm not into that stuff. But I know you always come in. I know you were on my old channel. I believe I numbered you. You were on my old channel, but I appreciate you stopping by, though. But thanks for just coming in. I'm not into that stuff. I think I told you that before. I just like reviewing the shows and stuff. So he talks in, and Jeff Cobb deals with the chaos, and tough breaks for Jeff Cobb, who ends up eating most of the punishment from both Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso, and things start to turn when Jeff Cobb catches Jimmy Uso with a big thumb that drops him to the mat, that gives Solo the opening to tag in, and feeling confident, and Solo hits Jimmy with a spinning solo, and that with Uso down, starting mocking Jacob Fatu's sinister dance just to rub it in, that little taunt to taking us to the final commercial break. Then back from the break, Jeff Cobb lands a back elbow on Jimmy Uso in the corner and tries to follow it up with a splash, but Jimmy Uso dodges and plants him with a Samoan drop, and that opens the door for the big shot. That opens the door for the big showdown. That opens the door for the big showdown, and Jacob Fatu and Solo tag in. Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu with the big showdown and stuff, and Jacob comes in hot and hitting a suicide on Solo, and loading a fury of headbutts in the corner, and Jeff Cobb tries to get involved again, but Jacob knocks him off the apron with a rope ascent kick that hits a springboard moonsault on Solo that gets the crowd fired up, and Jacob Fatu keeps the pressure on and hitting hip attacks on both Jacob on sorry about that. Fast talking. Jacob Fatu keeps the pressure on, hitting hip attack on both Jeff Cobb and Solo Sikoa and opposite corners, then heads up top and crushing down with a huge suicide bomb on Solo, and he goes for the cover, but Jeff Cobb dives in to break it up and throwing wild right hands at Jacob Fatu, and Jimmy comes flying back into the frame with a super kick that rocks Jeff Cobb and launches himself over the top rope to take him out on the floor, with Jacob Fatu holding down the ropes for a perfect ascent, and not yet. Jeff Cobb takes fighting again, and this time crushing into Solo on the other side of the ring, and tosses Solo back inside and drilling him with a DDT, climbing to the top rope and laying another picture perfect moonsault. 1, 2, 3, and Jeff Cobb. 1, 2, 3. Jacob gets the win, and that's how they won. And I'll repeat it again, guys. So Solo backs inside and drills him with a DDT and climbs to the top rope and lands another picture perfect moonsault from Jacob Fatu in the 1, 2, 3, and that's how Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso defeated Solo Sikoa and Jeff Cobb. Then after the match, Jacob Fatu isn't finished, and he clears off the announce desk and lays Solo Sikoa across it and climbs up top. Before he can fly, Haiku Leo, Haiku Leo shows up and pulls Solo Sikoa to safety, and Jimmy Uso crushes in to go after Haiku Leo, but Tonga Loa appears and evens the odds, and chicking Jimmy right into, Tonga, Haiku Leo, and winning arm, and Haiku Leo levels Jimmy with a brutal big boot, and from there it's full on beatdown, and Jeff Cobb hits Jimmy Uso with Tour of the Island. That was Jeff Cobb's move. He's always done that move, the Tour of the Island. And Loa follows that with a huge neckbreaker off the apron. Then Solo Sikoa spikes Jacob Fatu with a nasty Samoan spike. Well, Jeff Cobb and Tonga Loa and Haiku Haiku Leo hold them in place, and just when they think it couldn't get worse, Hayakula powerbombs Jacob Fatu to announce this, and the show ends with the bigger bloodline standing tall over the wreckness. And that's what happened right there, guys. And I thought it was a decent show. Some words are hard for me, so yeah, some words are hard for me to say, so I just go and go and go. So yes, guys. I give this show a 7 out of 10. It was a decent show, in my opinion. Man, I'm telling you, just great stuff, man. I'm telling you, with wrestling, in my opinion. I'm really loving what TNA is doing and MLW is doing. I love what AEW is doing in WWE too and stuff. I know earlier, I was talking about I had to explore more wrestling in my life during 2019 and 2020 and 21. It was because we had that old geezer still around, and I was like, oh my God. But, it's all better now, in my opinion. So I think WWE is a little bit better now than they were. That's just my opinion, a little bit better than they were. But if you guys think that they're way better, that's your opinion. But I think they're a little bit better. They gotta do some old stuff, man. They gotta start doing casual stuff sometimes, for those people. But that's just my opinion on that. But me as a diehard, I think it's good, but you got to listen as a whole, not just for one. You got to listen to a whole. You know what I'm saying? Not just for one audience. That's just my opinion on that. Yes, I'm a mark, but you know what I'm saying? So yes, guys. But I just like characters out of life. It was so cool to watch old stuff with new stuff sometimes. It's pretty cool to watch both stuff, But I appreciate what's going on in wrestling. I really am. I appreciate everything that's going on. But sometimes in my head, I feel like if you just do some old stuff with new stuff, man, that stuff would be crazy as heck. But I still enjoy what's going on, though. And whoever's watching, I appreciate it, though. But yes, guys, I thought this SmackDown was decent. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit those notification bells as always. This is Christopher Killer. I'll say it again. This is Christopher Killer 303, and we're out.